Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Big League Chew. This is episode 279. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate. 29. How's it feel? How was your birthday?
It's good. Yet I'm low key. I said that in our group chat. Like I don't need a whole thing. I'm not a club guy. I don't need to go get bottle service somewhere. Like just want my loved ones under one house, grilling, chilling, watching baseball. That's it. That's all I need.
I aspire to be
That's
you.
all I need.
I respect that. It sounds like a great time too.
Like,
I mean, who are we kidding?
I
here?
love that. I always get a Yankees game on my birthday, which makes me happy. But I think if things are trending that way next year, my birthday's going to be on a Monday, which is like an off day, which is going to suck.
Let's figure it out.
So, not a fan of that. So that's how it works,
May
right?
2023. Yeah, that's a Monday.
Which is a getaway day. Sucks. Not getaway day, but a travel day.
Well, it could be. They could be on a Thursday that week. You never know.
We'll see. I guess we'll see.
Monday or Thursday. Those
But
are
yeah,
getaway
that's all I
days.
need. I need a Yankees victory. I need my family. I need good food. I've been eating like crazy. Woo. All weekend. Just eating. Steak and salmon yesterday. My mom made her infamous mac and cheese.
Oof.
Just a giant pot of gold love and noodles.
So you were essentially worthless this weekend, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're just in a food coma
The entire weekend. That's all it's been.
Entire
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, glad to hear you had a
Yeah.
good birthday. I actually spent this weekend thinking a little bit, not going to lie. I was getting excited at the thought of introducing that segment that you so brilliantly named last episode, the 3-0 Fake. And before we get into Mother's Day and the Mets, and I mean, they're first at 20. We all know that. But the Red Sox also just being terrible. Before we get into those things, I wanted to maybe bounce some ideas off you here. How do we feel? Because let me just tell you, I don't know if I shared this with you, but the feedback was great. Like I had people hit me up saying like, I hope this, like, please tell me that this is in the works. People were like suggesting conspiracy ideas. What do we think about maybe introducing this as like a Thursday end of the week, end of the episode little segment here? So like maybe 5 or 10 minutes at the end of each of our Thursday segments, we look at and break down briefly a popular conspiracy theory.
That's good. And then it gives like people to talk, something to talk about for their weekend plans, little parties.
Little trivia. They say, "Oh, I didn't know that the Denver airport was in connection with the Illuminati." Who knew? Who knew?
Airport is a scary place.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it. Is there one in particular you want to open it up with this coming Thursday?
I feel like we got to jump like all in on like some JFK, some moon landing.
Do you want to start with JFK? That's the one I've mentioned just about every time conspiracy gets brought up. We can start.
You're way more educated than I am about it, so I'm gonna have to. If you give me time, give me a couple days to look into it. I got you. We can start with that.
It's wild, dude. I'm telling you.
We can definitely start with that.
Like the CIA getting involved, possibly in the JFK assassination. It's crazy, dude. I'll just give the people listening a little teaser. It wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald. Don't believe what your government's telling you. It was not Lee Harvey Oswald, and I will be more than glad to share countless reasons as to why it was not Lee Harvey Oswald.
I would agree with you.
That's all I'm going to say on that. That's just a little teaser.
The 3-0
So
fake.
there it is. The 3 the 3-0 Fake, a conspiracy theory segment on your favorite baseball podcast. It'll be at the end of our end of week recordings, whether that it should be Thursday moving forward, but if anything changes, it'll be Thursday, Friday, but count on that being our way of wrapping up the week of recording. Yeah. So look forward to that on Thursday, but before that point, we got some baseball to talk about, and we're going to talk about Mother's Day across Major League Baseball today. We had 4 walk-offs. Little Mother's Day magic. Let's, before we even get to that, before we get to the results, tell me your thoughts on the gear, because it seems as though it changes every year. How did you feel about it?
I think they nailed it.
You think so?
The hat, I don't know about the gray.
All 30 teams went gray. Like, you have to know that.
Like, I would almost prefer
not all 30 teams on the road.
Yeah, I would almost prefer just keeping your regular hat color, your main number 1 color for your team, and then just having your whole logo, not even outline, just your whole logo on the front of the hat, pink.
Pink logo. It's very simple.
Yeah, I don't think we need to overthink it too much. So,
I understand it. The whole point is to, have it be a little eye-catching. Like, what's the deal with this? What's the
the pink
cause?
almost
kind
of, because it's like a light pink, it almost kind of fades. Like, it gets lost in that light gray. So you look like zoomed out.
Right.
You can't really tell that it's pink, especially with bright pink socks, batting gloves, bats, like all that is like
bats,
pink.
wristbands.
Like they're wearing pink. But the hats are like, is that pink and gray? That's the only thing I didn't like. But I love when catchers are rocking the full pink gear. That's what you need.
My whole thought on it, and I'm not. This is not a Mother's Day apparel trash hour by any stretch. I'm just saying, moving forward, something to consider if you're the league. I like that they do this. I appreciate that they do this. I love the stories that come from Mother's Day across baseball. But if you're trying to make something that's a little eye-catching, maybe do it in a little more tasteful, subtle way rather than it be an eyesore, because at that point it becomes eye-catching for all the wrong reasons. So just keep it simple. Go with the pink logo, keep the hats, and call it done.
That's all you got to do. That's it.
That's all you got to do.
You don't have to overthink it too much. Do you like the idea of the pink outline around the lettering or logos across the chest?
All I know is that we've come a long way.
Yeah,
I think so. We've come a long way in terms of the Mother Day accessorizing.
Long way.
Because I saw a picture from a jersey, like a MLB post from I want to say it was 17 or maybe 15. This is a while ago now, and all they had was the pink ribbon.
Yeah.
The very small pink ribbon, where the Nike swoosh is now, just a little ribbon on the chest.
And then you get the occasional pink bat. That was it.
Yes, some guys would use it. I feel like now it's just more and more.
Well, I think, and this is something that I think we gotta we gotta give Manfred a little credit on. The rules have loosened up on the cleats, so guys are allowed to express themselves a little bit more through the cleats. Like I saw, obviously yesterday, birthday, and Mother's Day stuff. I only got to watch the Yankees, but seeing the Aaron Judge, mom on the side of the cleats, that kind of thing it's good. That's what's good. You got to let these guys.
Yeah, Harper made headline.
Share a little bit. Yeah,
get a little creative. Yeah, Harper made headlines for his cleats. Those are pretty cool.
Bryce is always making headlines with the cleats. I like it. The only thing I didn't like was that Philly Fanatic, bright, fluffy green one that he had. You remember that? His first year as a Philly?
Yeah, that was questionable. That was questionable.
It's just a stuffed animal. It looks like you stepped on it and it just kind of got stuck to your shoe.
Well, I think that was just a pre. I mean, he didn't wear that. That was just a pregame thing. But I know what you're talking about.
No,
No, he didn't. He definitely didn't wear that. It was like a pregame thing, and he swapped out. And then I think the cleats he replaced it with that day were the Philly Fanatic cleats, but it didn't have the fuzzy business going on. Yeah, I was a little concerned when I saw that pregame. But yeah, all that to say, I love the effort. I think it worked out great. It was just the one small gripe about the hats. That's it.
Everything else is good. Yeah.
Other than that, all's good.
Yeah.
All's well. That's all I got. All right, let's talk baseball. Which walk-off do you want to start off with? Because to be honest with you, I kind of wanted to say the Yankees won for last because of some comments surrounding that particular walk-off. You know what? Let's start with the positive. Let's start with the feel-good story. Let's start with the Padres. Well, the Madres.
Oh, there we
if
go.
You will. Which, by the way, I saw a tweet yesterday. Obviously, it resurfaced. Do you by chance remember when the Padres changed their Twitter handle to the Madres, and that kid, I think it was like a high school player or something, like snatched up the
Padres,
the handle. Yeah, like what are you Padres? What are you doing? You change like your Twitter name. You don't change your handle. Yeah, and he went up and snatched it up and had Padres. Was there like a bounty for that? Was there like a reward?
To be, and like not to get too political, but I think Trump did it to Biden as well for his domain, like URL, domain name. Right.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny. Like it's like petty when people do it. They just
I'm all for it.
And like I just think it's funny. Like it's harmless. It's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But hopefully that kid got paid a little bit. All right, let's start with I'm watching the Padres one.
Ricky, let's give him some love. Ricky Padilla from Calvin College, class of 21. He snatched up Padres. Says Padres changed Twitter handle to Madres for Mother's Day. Immediately lose original handle. Hold on. Before we continue, I need to research this. What was there? Was there consequence for this kid?
I don't think it's that big of a deal. All you got to do is have like one of the interns in the Padres organization just like immediately create a handle and just on deck have like a ready to go Padres. Boom. As soon as the Padres switch it to Madres, that intern swoops up Padres, and then after the day he deletes the account. And
you would think
like I'm assuming that would be easier to go that way, but I don't know. It looks like they clearly were scared to do it yesterday, right? I didn't see anything yesterday that they did.
So he had it for a few hours. And again, this wasn't this year, so don't go looking for a story. This was like 19, I think. All right. Somebody tell me here. I can't find it.
He probably got paid like under the table. Because imagine that's not a good PR look for the Padres if they were like, really, you spent $10,000 getting your handle back, whatever it may be, whatever dollar amount it was.
You could argue that it brought more attention to their account as a result.
Or to that kid's account.
Yeah, Ricky. What was it? Ricky Padilla. Good for Ricky. Yeah, but dude, Twitter Sports is ruthless, man. They probably didn't even give the kid a warning. They're like, yeah, no, that belongs to the Padres. We're gonna take that back now. You would think, in a righteous and just world, that
Ricky Padilla, that's Ricky Padilla's, and I did
to keep. And
Ricky Padre.
Oh, so it says the Padres, who have at the time had over 400,000 followers, must have reached out to Twitter to freeze the account since it now takes you to a page does not exist page. What a clown show out there in San Diego. Well, minus yesterday.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
They made it work. Jorge Alfaro learned that he wasn't going to be in the starting lineup on Sunday decides to give his mom a call. Obviously, it's Mother's Day. Wish Mom happy Mother's Day. Hey, Mom, love you. You're the best. Wouldn't want any other mom besides you. Apparently, he'd sent her flowers as well. She watches, I found out, she watches all of the games from their native Colombia. So she's just staying up to date out there in Colombia. And on the phone call, apparently she told Jorge, she said, if you're not in the lineup, just be ready. You're going to hit a home run today. And Alfaro said he started laughing, saying, Mom, that's hard to do, which I would agree.
That's so cool, dude.
Hitting a home run in the major leagues, that's hard to do.
That's so cool.
So the Marlins going to the bottom of the ninth, up 2-0. And Jorge Alfaro hits a 3-run home run. Don Orsillo sends the broadcast into a frenzy. Petco is jumping.
He is a great commentator. He is really good.
Don't quote me on this, but I think in the broadcast he said, how far will Alfaro send this or something? Like, he just has a great way of playing on words.
Oh, he's
and
like, he can yell too.
And
like, he can yell. He can belt an exciting moment.
Yeah, Matt Vasgersian needs to take notes. That's how you yell into a mic without sounding like it's in the back of your throat. Like, we don't need to be choking on the mic.
Man. Yeah, I only got like moments before on this. That's a professional right there. That guy knows what he's doing.
And he let it breathe a little bit there, right when he turned it off, and then he followed it up with a Happy Mother's Day, and then he just called it. And I'm like, this dude is dude. I mean, there's nobody better in the business.
I
I'm
agree.
Sorry.
I definitely agree. He's up there.
This is the guy. So, yeah, Padres get the 3-2 walk-off win over the Marlins. The Mariners...
All right, let's look that
with another much needed win. What do you say?
I didn't see any of these, so
yeah, the Mariners with a much needed win. They started 11-6 to start the season, Nate, but they've lost 10 of their last 11. They're about to be swept.
Ty France just hitting a laser.
Yeah, our guy Dave Sims, friend of the pod, former guest on the call. They were heading into the ninth, down 1. Abraham Toro launches one to tie the game. And in the 10th, as I mentioned, our guy Dave Sims had the call. And
that's why I lost, because I had Kittredge. Give up that game-tying home run.
Ty France comes up in the clutch, ropes one to the left over the head of whoever that was in left, and avoided the sweep. That was much needed for the Mariners. Against the Rays, I mean, that's a respectable opponent to get that dub against. You know, you got to snap the streak a little bit.
Too. Well, I think basically, I mean, just looking at the game too, like for George Kirby to go out with that start, 6-inning 4-hit ball. No walks, 7 Ks, like that's a good line. And you don't want him to, not feel somewhat successful on that day. Yeah, that he's not getting the dub, but still, like he pitched well enough to feel like, hey, I kept my team in it, and we got the win as a team, and that's what matters. So I think this is like kind of a prime example as to why like wins and losses just are pretty much kind of dead when it comes to pitchers now.
Because it was a debut for him, right? Number 3 prospect. I think if you would ask guys like that in that situation, they don't care about the wins and losses for that particular outing. They just don't want to go out there and get throttled. It's like if we go out there, even if we lose the game, as long as I don't get throttled, as long as I'm not the sole reason for us taking this L, I think anything else on top of that is just a cherry on top.
I would agree. What I will say, I mean, I think, the Mariners they're not getting what they expected from Robbie Ray. I don't know what's going on there, but he's not Cy Young Robbie Ray. And at this point, like, it's kind of looking like he was a bit of a fluke last year with the Jays. I don't know.
I mean, we threw out that us and many others threw out that possibility.
Yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, they're still there. I mean, I'm assuming the Angels are going to skid a little bit pretty soon. The Astros have heated up for sure this last week and a half. They're 8-2 in their last 10. So
they've won 7 straight, I think.
Yep, you're right. 7 straight. So they're moving. They're doing things, which you knew they would. But the Mariners, are – I don't want them to think that, like, just because they don't go win the West this year that they're not working in the right direction. They're doing a lot of good stuff. They got a lot of young guys that are going to start making a difference. I mean, I don't know what's up with Kelnick, but, like, I don't know how much longer he's going to be in the league if he keeps this up.
Honestly.
Like, it's rough. He's at the bottom of the barrel for a lot of offensive stats, like the very bottom.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're the Mariners, sure, you want to go out and win the division because what team doesn't want to?
You're going to have Julio Rodriguez
with that
for
goal in mind.
Years to come. You're going to have Kyle Lewis for years to come.
But I think if you're the Mariners, you just have to stay true to the legitimate goal. You can in your pressers you can say we want to go out and win the division. But if you're the Mariners, your true goal is just making it to the postseason, and everybody knows that. And I think everybody would be fine with that. Like, if you can get the division, great. But I think the fans just want that postseason baseball that they were so incredibly close to at the end of last season. And you can just kind of call it a day. Like, I'm not saying you just kind of roll over if you make it to the postseason.
Well, even then,
I think
with
that's
this new
their
structure
goal.
of the postseason, I think those types of teams have a better chance, now more than ever. So, and like I said, they're going in the right direction. If you're a Mariners fan, you should be excited for what's going down, how this is being built, and I could see them being buyers in a couple months. Personally, I could see them going and adding a couple things and going on a little bit of a run. Go add a couple pieces. Do what you need to do. But this slow trickle of, like, prospects coming in, couple a year, and you're starting to see them settle in. Like, Logan Gilbert that kid's the real deal. So, like, they're going to be okay. They're going to be all right. So just be patient. I think everyone across baseball is just like, oh, we're immediately like, yes, like they're going to be an immediate impact on the league. They're going to immediately come in and win the division. They have all these young guys. Julio Rodriguez is up, and let's do it. No, dude, like, you need to let these kids, like, ease in a little bit and become better big leaguers, right? Like, when Griffey and A-Rod broke through, they weren't immediate contenders. It took a year or two for them to settle in. And then Randy's there and Edgar's there, and like that's what you're hoping for is like the late 90s Mariners that are going to start to slide into those mid to late 90s Mariners. So it's coming. Just be patient. It's coming. What other walk-off did we have? I want to look it up.
I personally, one of my favorite from the weekend, the Angels taking down the Nationals. That was a score of 5-4. They were real close to dropping the series to the Nats, who, may I remind you, are in last place. The Nats went into the bottom of the ninth, up 4-2.
Little Shohei magic?
And then they had a walk. Taylor Ward singled. And then Trout struck out, unfortunately, but then Shohei had a 2 RBI double to tie it. And then Rendon knocks him in with the game-winning knock. Dude, I know I said the Angels are frauds, and I think that time is eventually going to prove unfriendly to them this year.
You got to admit that they're...
But that place...
you got to admit that they're starting to turn a corner, and they just need to stay healthy. That's all this is. And when you look at it, you're like, between Shohei, Trout, and Rendon, if they have a healthy season, all 3 of them are all-stars every year. All they have to do is stay healthy, and you're an all-star, no doubt. Much less, 2 of the 3 being in an MVP conversation every year. And then you just sprinkle in some role guys, Ward stepping in and just like absolutely taking the reins and running with it. And Walsh and Marsh, like,
I know Fletcher's back on the IL. He's been banged up a little bit, but
healthy,
that's another guy that can give you a little bit of that positional flexibility.
He's that role guy. You got to have those role players that they're not going to be big-time all-stars. They're not going to be leading every stat category. It's just they need to go out there and do their job. But I talked about it, Andrew Velasquez is flashing a lot of leather, right? And, Tyler Wade coming over as well adds a lot of athleticism, a lot of positional flexibility as well. So, like, they're starting to get to this feeling of we're a good ball club and we can win ball games.
Dare I say the Angels are starting to feel themselves a little bit?
To feel it.
Starting to have a little bit of swagger. Dare I say?
Know. You were on the fraud train for a long time. Are you starting to?
I'm gonna stay true to what I've been saying. I'm holding out. I'm just saying, for the time being, it's cool to see. I mean, I'm not gonna like trash on them for what they've been doing thus far. I mean, it's impressive. And I mean, like, I'm watching the clip right now. The Rendon knocks in Shohei. Dude, Shohei's like losing it at the plate.
Shohei is like the emotion he gives, and like
he's all sorts of fired up.
Like he is fully buying into being that guy. I think that's something that, like, when you watch Japanese baseball, like, I don't know how much just Asian baseball in general, Korea, Japan, when you watch them, you're like, there's not a whole lot of bat flipping. There's not a whole lot of celebrations going on. They play a really good ball, but it's more like this humble, put my head down and jog kind of thing. But Shohei's like fully embracing the emotion. And I think that's cool for his culture as well, to see him kind of breaking out of that. And of course it fits into what we do here in the U.S. So,
I mean, I'll give you full credit. There's a quote graphic somewhere on our feed from, I don't know, maybe it was last year, the year before, but it was something, and I won't quote you, but it was something along the lines of like, Shohei is taking over the role that Mike Trout just didn't want, and he's doing it gladly, like something along those lines. And you said that before his MVP season last year, and he's loving every minute of it. He's like, please give me the attention. I will gladly.
Like, let's have fun.
Yeah.
Let's be exciting. And that's just not what Trout is. That's what everyone wants from Trout, but he's just not that guy. He's a head down. He's a humble. He's not, really going to show a whole lot of emotion. So I think Rendon is probably pretty similar. So at that point, you're looking at their stars and you're like, somebody needs to be the one that just can have fun. And when you watch the rest of baseball, when you watch the guys that we're so attached to, like, Tatis, like Soto, they're a little in your face, Acuna, they're a little in your face and they're celebrating, but it's because they're enjoying the moment. And that is starting to become a more common thing. And I feel like every successful team needs at least one. And Shohei is happily, running with that as well. And it's working. It's good. Now it's just all about filling in those gaps with core guys and position guys and utility guys and bullpen guys. And then it all just kind of You create this culture, and you talk about all the time with the '04 Red Sox, right? You had a couple stars sprinkled in, but the rest were guys that just bought in, accepted their job, and you watched the entire clubhouse move in one direction. And that's why we play 162 games. That's why we don't count certain teams out, because you just need a little bit of the right. There's right timing with every kind of guy, and it's a combination of staying healthy, having fun, and knowing who your stars are, and knowing your role, knowing your job. And it looks like the Angels have started to, okay, all right, accept that.
They're enjoying it. They're enjoying it. I love seeing it. Like I said, I have my feelings about where I think, or what I think this season has in store for them. But like I said, in the meantime, it's exciting to watch. And it's cool just seeing Shohei just live it up, dude. I was getting chills on that walk-off call, just seeing him like running down the third base line with the fans behind him, just all hands up. Like, it was, I mean, I don't care who you are. I don't care what team it is. That kind of stuff you just love to see in baseball, and you need more of that.
And low-key, I think it's underrated, the pop-up slide at home. I think that is like an underrated thing. You know, just getting your foot as low and quick as possible down underneath the glove. Like, and especially with a guy like Shohei, you're like, please don't get hurt. I don't need you jamming your neck into the catcher's knee if you go head first dive, like that kind of thing. Just, you're fast enough, get there. And I like the pop-up slide. We need more of those.
Yeah, the pop-up slide with like the corkscrew,
like fist pump as he's
fist
coming
pump
up.
combo.
Dude. Throws his. I think
it doesn't get better than this.
I think he threw like his
hand
mitt, his little oven mitt.
Yeah, he did the corkscrew. He landed, and then he gave you another fist pump. I'm like, inject this into my veins, Shohei. I love this.
Fire me up, because that's like
fire me up, Shohei.
That is the language that we all speak. That is the language that no matter what you speak, if it's no matter what country you're from, that is where everyone can buy into who you are and what you're doing. And that's what this guy's done. That's why he's a global star. And he's helped saving baseball. He really is. And as much as you and I were kind of like this, like, we're so sick of every time Shohei farts, he's the first pitcher and first hitter since blah, blah, back in, 1913 to do this. And you're like, enough. I don't need those anymore. Let's just appreciate Shohei for what Shohei is now. We can understand he's transcending baseball, but he's saving it. He's saving baseball in many ways, and it's globally, popping off for him, which is awesome. So go Angels.
I don't know if I can meet you there, but it didn't.
It just didn't feel off the tongue the way I wanted it to.
We can dream. We can dream. And the what we already alluded to, the final walk-off of Mother's Day, the Yankees over the Rangers by a score 2-1 via a walk-off home run from Gleyber Torres.
Yeah.
That's your guy.
First off,
it wasn't the walk-off that made headlines, though. It was the comments
and that's what
after
sucks,
the fact.
because first off, Gleyber he's now leading the league in walk-off hits since he came in 2018. With 8.
Wow.
8 walk-off hits. This is his second one this year already. Dude is clutch. Like, he's coming up in clutch moments, one of which a few weeks ago was a pinch hit appearance. So he's doing his thing. And those are moments where they just kind of build. You know that. You grew up watching Poppy, where it's just like you almost have this like comfort knowing that there's a certain guy in the box in a clutch necessary moment. I'm not putting Gleyber on Big Poppy standards quite yet, but still, it's something to where it's going to help a young guy just ease into his, his confidence. So, but as far as the home run goes, you can read off the Chris Woodward comments, and this is not the first time we've heard Chris Woodward kind of pop off at the mouth a little bit. Maybe
a little prematurely, if I might add. Not not necessarily
Not
well
accurate
thought
either.
out comments from Chris Woodward. He was interviewed for the clip I saw. I think it was like over a minute, but the line that everyone keeps referencing is when they were asking about the home run and the matchup with King, I believe it was. He said, that's an easy out in 99% of ballparks. He just happened to hit it in a Little League ballpark to right field. If I hadn't done my research to follow up on that,
I probably
would have
would've
agreed
too.
with him because it did not look very far. And we all know
Yeah.
about the short porch. We've talked about this till we were blue in the face. That's a home run in 26 out of 30 ballparks, which to be honest with you, I don't believe, but I'll take the account. I think on Twitter it's Would It Dong. Shout out to Would It Dong. Always coming in clutch for these kinds of conversations. But apparently, according to Would It Dong on Twitter, home run in 26 out of 30 ballparks. So
yeah. And that's and you saw that he backpedaled today. Did you see his comments today of him backpedaling?
I didn't. What did he say today?
I like breaking news to you.
This would have had to been
breaking
pregame
news to you because you're always on top of it. So
this would have been pregame, right? Because they're playing right now.
So he came out and he said it was a joke. Listen, I love this place. This is like one of the cathedrals in all of sports. Woodward said, everybody knows it's got a short right field. It was more of a joke than anything. We hit one of our own in this game, so I guess karma's funny that way. But no, I love this place. It's a beautiful ballpark.
Okay.
You haven't been there.
Before we even get into that.
You can't talk.
It's not a cathedral.
100% is.
No, it's
100%
not.
Is. You walk up to that stadium.
When did the stadium open, Nate? When did the stadium open, Nate? I can't believe I have to have this conversation with you.
Matter.
It's not a cathedral.
Doesn't matter.
I don't
you walk
care.
up to this place, and it is like tall white marble around the entire outside of the ballpark. You look and you walk into these tunnels, and you walk through the gates, and you see huge, huge hallways with banners hanging. It's a beautiful ballpark. It really is. It needs to get a little thing fixed with right field. I do agree. And as a Yankees fan, I don't know what you want us to do. Like, do you want them to just not hit home runs? Like, do you want them to just lose and be like, well, I didn't want to use right field because it's illegitimate.
I'm not talking about the home runs. I'm talking about I'm still on the
once you go there, you will get
ball.
No, I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, when you walk in through, especially gate 4 behind home plate, and then the gate towards right field as well. When you walk in, these hallways are like, they are grand hallways, so tall and huge, and just, I'm talking like 60-foot banners of every retired Yankee legend down the way.
Right.
Like,
a museum for the true cathedral that they for
this is
a reason only God knows they decided to tear down
It's falling
and
apart
put up
anyways,
this
so.
like 2.0.
I'm telling you,
Yankee
go there
Stadium,
and
whatever
you accept that
means.
it is a beautiful ballpark. And entirely through everything, I've been through the museum. I've been through the out in center field, Monument Park. I've been in the Legends Suite, which is below those. I know when you love looking at Yankees games and you're like, oh, Friday night and no one's in their seats. It's because they're in the restaurant below those seats getting crab legs and sushi. And it's like everything is it's beautiful there, I promise you. And there's really not a bad seat unless you're getting, beers thrown on you in the bleachers. But as far as the home run goes, as far as the right field, it's just like I don't know, what do you want them to do? Yes, personally, if it was up to me, I would either go a higher fence or scoot it back a little bit. Because it is kind of silly in many ways. I don't like seeing those home runs that are just home runs in Yankee Stadium. This wasn't one of them. But Chris Woodward pops off. He did this with Tatis hitting that 3-0 grand slam, right?
Yeah, and wasn't he involved with it was the strikeout. Who would that have been for? Was that for Mike Minor? I don't know why that name's coming up. You remember it was like the dropping of the ball? Was that Woodward too?
Probably.
Remember, because they dropped the ball so that whoever it was could get X amount of strike. It was like 200 strikeouts or something. Do you know what I'm talking about? Was that Woodward?
So they
hold on,
forcefully made an error, so he'd have another opportunity to get a strikeout.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, it was because it was Mike Minor. Yeah. Rangers dropped ball on purpose so Mike Minor could get strikeouts. Milestone. Yep, 200 strikeout. It was, I guess, the final game of the season. Yeah, they're playing Boston. I remember watching this game. And Chris Woodward, laughed it off at the end, I think. And he's like, yeah, I didn't love the idea that we dropped a pop-out. It was kind of cheeky. He was like, didn't love the idea we dropped a pop-out at the end. But on the other side of that, they swung at 3 pitches in a row in the 8th inning, down by 2. And I remember he just didn't handle it very well, the aftermath of it. And then it got brought up again when with that Tatis thing. They're like, oh, interesting how you're making a fuss about unwritten rules and all of this stuff when you were part of that situation.
This is what I'm saying. He speaks prematurely on a lot of things. And this, this Glaber home run, just another one. And it's, Chris Woodward is not a winner. He's not going to be the manager for the Rangers much longer. I'm not saying he's going to lose his job this year or maybe even next year, but when the Rangers get to that point of what they're trying to do, the reason they brought in Simeon, the reason they brought in Corey Seager, the reason they're starting to build that rotation out a little bit, they got Jack Leiter coming up in a year or two. He's not going to be there. He's just not. He's not the guy that they need to get to be the staple winning manager that they're looking for. If you don't know how to handle a lot of those situations, if you don't know how the right things to say, if you don't know how to handle the press, you're not the guy. You're not the guy. And if you're doing this kind of stuff on a regular basis, and this is now a trend, it shouldn't be a topic of a conversation. If you're a Rangers player, this is going to be a topic of conversation, and it's not something that's fun to deal with. They're lucky that they're playing today. They're lucky that they're playing a makeup game as we speak. Because otherwise, I think both teams would be off on Monday, and Chris Woodward would be just getting buried with more comments all day because they're not playing.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Nate, let's transition into talking about the Mets being the first team to 20 wins. But before we do that, I'm going to tell you about SeatGeek. Oh, didn't see that plot twist coming. Nate, SeatGeek is the answer to all your ticket needs.
Founded by former
tickets,
left-handed
you have plans
pitcher.
with friends or family.
What?
To make it to an upcoming game or concert, or are even looking months ahead to nail down a date to get tickets before they sell out. With SeatGeek, you can find tickets to games, concert shows, and even theater performances with just a few easy clicks. I should add comedy. Well, I guess that's part of shows, too. Because I think I mentioned a week or two ago we went to see Jim Gaffigan.
You didn't use SeatGeek.
That's it. That's a place you could maybe consider getting tickets. It wasn't his preferred ticket platform. And so in order to finagle my way into a certain situation, I had to adhere to the preferences. That's all I'm going to say. That's as vague as I'm going to be, so don't ask for specifics. We're making it even better for you if you're a first-time user of SeatGeek. Next time you add some tickets to your cart, use our promo code the number 3, the number 0, take pod. That's our social handle on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. At checkout to save $20 instantly off your first purchase as a first-time user. It's all you got to do to save some of that.
It's hard, and honestly, it's cash, so why not?
Enter promo code, the thing I read earlier, at checkout. Nate, do you have dogs?
I do not have dogs.
I know you don't have dogs, but for the people that do have dogs, let me tell you about BarkBox. You can sign up at barkbox.com / the number 3, the number 0, take pod. That's our social handle on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And receive a free extra month of BarkBox, which is a totally, not like a partially, not like a, hey, like you can maybe mix and match like a couple things, but we're gonna send you just like a generic thing here. It's totally customized box of themed toys and treats for your pup every month. And I know that there's people listening to this that have dogs because I see them on the feed all the time, and I'm all about it because there are few things greater on this planet.
It's very true.
Dogs. I love dogs.
Very true.
Well, let me rephrase. Dogs that are over like 50 pounds.
I could probably drop that down to like 30 pound limit. I think you can still get some cool dogs in that 30-pound range.
Okay, 30. Yeah, whatever corgis are,
Yeah.
lump those in there. I'm a softy for corgis, dude. I love corgis.
They're cute
Little-
and odd,
Little
weird
nugget
looking.
legs.
It's cute.
They're trying
know.
their best, you know.
They're
I mean, it wasn't their fault that they
Surprisingly fast.
Had those
some of
legs?
corgis too. Yeah.
they can move, man. So for your little corgi friend, go snag him some gifts over at BarkBox.com. You get a free extra month.
Is there a reason you guys don't have dogs?
BarkBox.com. The apartment fee
I think I'm kind of the same way.
right now. It's like you have to pay for like another
Yeah.
human. It's like, no, it's just a dog. You don't need to charge me this much
Yeah.
to have a dog. So whenever we move, hopefully we get a house later this
I'm
year.
kind of the same way, and I'm also on the 4th floor, and it's like that sucks. Take your dog down 4 stories 3 times a day. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
gonna do
tough. You have a fit dog. though.
dog is gonna be ripped up for sure.
Dog is gonna be
Yeah.
shredded, dude. So yeah, again, that's BarkBox.com. Don't just go to BarkBox. Go to BarkBox.com/the number 3
Don't
the
be
number
rude.
0.
Yeah.
Take pod.
Just use us.
BarkBox.
Big League Chew, founded by former left-handed pitcher Rob Nelson. Big League Chew started from humble beginnings in the Portland Mavericks bullpen in 1977. For more than 40 years, the iconic pouch is packed with shredded, flavorful bubble gum, has become the number one shredded gum of athletes everywhere. Big League Chew has sold more than 900 million pouches. Honestly, after these ad reads, it's probably got to be close to 1 billion at this point. And it's designated as the Hall of Fame bubble gum. Grab some gum and head to Big League Chew's social media channels at Big League Chew on Twitter, at Big League Chew Gum on Instagram to show off your Big League bubbles. You can also find a list of retailers or purchase any of their products directly from their website at BigLeagueChew.com. Big League Chew. BLC if you're
Big League
in
Chew
in the squad.
And
Sounds
as we
better.
reminded you last episode, if you're at the store and you see, if you're at the gas station, if you're at the convenience store and you look over and you see Big League Chew, get a pouch, enjoy it,
What do you
and
got to-
tag us
Yeah.
and Big League Chew in the story and say, hey, Big League Chew, my friends, my dear friends over the 3-0 take.
Here's what we'll do. I'll raise you. I will
Influence
take your
this.
offer and I will raise you. We're gonna like keep a collage of them. We'll keep the pictures. And then every once in a while, if you take a cool picture with like a pouch at a ball game, or if you're broken down on the side of the road replacing your tire and you got that little pouch right there, you want to take a picture, whatever you want to do, we're going to save all of them. So that way you don't get like a 10-second, little spot in the sunlight getting some fame on social media. We're just going to save it. And then maybe at the end of the year, we'll just be like, hey, Big League Chew, check this out. And then we just throw all your guys' pictures in one long story reel feed post.
Negative. I'm gonna email attachment by attachment. I'm gonna send them individual emails and just flood their inbox.
You hear that?
That
You heard
seems
it
like
here
the
first. I
rational
mean,
thing
just
to
like
do.
you're gonna be shown off. We don't care if your face is in it. We don't care if bubbles are there. We don't care if you're just propping that gum up, in like the National History Museum up against, a stuffed buffalo. I don't care.
I prefer
Yeah,
that
sounds
actually.
great.
In fact, you know what? I'm gonna see your offer and I'm gonna raise that. Let's see
Climb
who
up
has
on
the
that
most
buffalo
creative-
while blowing a bubble.
Climb up. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. Actually, is climb up on the buffalo. You read my mind. No, what I was going to say, let's see who has the most creative picture.
That sounds
The most
fun.
I mean, we could have all sorts of fun with this. We could go most artsy photo, like you
Weird?
said, with the field in
You
the
could go
background,
weird,
game
yeah.
going on. You can go weird with it. You can be on the side of the road, change your tire. Let's see who can send it. Maybe we think of a prize to send the person over a
I like that.
period of time. See who sends us the best picture featuring Big League Chew.
Look at us just brainstorming right here live on the pod.
I mean, to be honest with you, I get tired of just us brainstorming these great ideas. I mean, at a certain
We got to
point,
do something about it. I mean, 3-0 fake is definitely happening.
I mean, the 3-0 fake, I kid you not, that may be one of your best, like, on-the-spot ideas you've ever come up with. That's fantastic. That reaction that you had for me last episode was completely genuine. I hadn't even thought about it, and then you dropped that on me, and I was like, this is
Money.
This is gold.
It's coming. It's all coming. All the ideas.
It's coming. 2022 is still looking up all things 3-0 take and 3-0 fake. The Mets, Nate, as I mentioned, the first team to win 20 games this year. Hard to believe. They outpaced the Dodgers. I'm not talking about, let's just list off the teams that they beat. And I'm not gonna talk about teams they beat in terms of the race to 20. Let's not think about how the season has gone thus far. Let's pretend like it's April 1st. And we know that the Mets are going to be the first team to 20.
Okay.
The teams that you would have to think about in terms of, well, no, they're going to be the first team to 20. You're talking about teams like the Dodgers, after the way last year went, the Giants, the Yankees, the Astros, the Braves, the reigning World Series champions. Could even throw the Red Sox in there.
Back to April 1st, yeah.
The Padres,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
April
you're
1st.
You're not
Let's just
thinking about
pretend
the
like-
Mets, I don't think. But some people were, though.
Yeah,
Some people were.
you're just not thinking about
Well,
the Mets.
I mean, you know what, dude? When are you going to? Let's set a date. We do this every year. We did this with the Twins last year, where you had to decide by a certain date. You can
I'm
make it
pretty
as late
sure,
as you
hold on,
want.
let me check.
But I'm thinking by like
Wow.
August, you need to have your mind made up about the Mets.
Didn't we do this for the Angels? I thought I set a reminder in my phone. Was it like the deadline? Did we say the deadline? No, that was probably too late. Oh, no, we did the thing like last year, like the off season, where I said don't change mine on the fraud Angels, idiot.
It's just,
That reminder has already passed.
did you really write?
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
because I had to set that reminder for our Hot Takes episode. I needed to make sure that I didn't give them any love in
Sure,
our Hot Takes episode.
sure.
That's right.
Understood.
Hot Takes and Predictions episode. I mean, we could package the Mets and Angels because I feel the same way about both
Okay.
of them right now.
Let's pick a date.
Throw something out there for me, and then I can add or subtract.
I think August 1st.
What's
I think
something-
August 1st is like a decent date because there's still enough time where it's possible for a collapse, but you're not like in September. And that gives you a long time. It gives you a lot of games to be able to figure things out. I mean, we're talking being at 90 to 100 games by that point, right? Maybe even more, 110 games. That should give you enough sample size.
All right, August 1st. Perfect. August 1st is a Monday. So let me set a reminder in my phone.
Make your mind up about Mets and Angels.
Make up mind about Mets and Angels. And we're going to set this for August 1st. Yeah, I feel like August 1st is fair. Hold on, let's get here.
Just to be
August
clear,
1st,
this is
that's a
you.
Monday.
This isn't me. I'm in on the Mets.
I know. And I feel like here sooner rather than later, you're going to be in on the Angels too.
That one's going to take a little longer for me, but yeah.
I still think you'll end up there
Probably.
before I do. All right, record it. All right, let's set it for
noon.
Set it for 1 p.m. Right in the middle of the recording. So
just in case.
If all things go as planned, this baby's going to be popping up mid-recording on August 1st. All right. So, yeah, first team to 20 wins after their 6-1 win over the Phillies on Sunday. They're third in team average across baseball, so they're hitting the baseball. Although I did see something yesterday that said they are lowest towards the bottom, maybe not lowest, but towards the bottom in terms of hard hit rate. But if my research proves correct, they are near the top. They've scored the second most runs in the NL. Looks like the third most in baseball. So they're just finding ways to score runs, even though they may not necessarily be hitting the ball hard.
Yeah.
Which is what you want. Like, you don't care if you're hitting the ball hard. That's fine. If you're finding ways to score, so be it. I mean, eventually you'd like the hard hit rate to improve a little bit because at a certain point you're not going to be as lucky because that's just how baseball works.
Yeah, but I mean, I think, some cold weather games to start the season off, that's a factor too. I think as it warms up, balls are going to fly a little bit more. Well, depends on, if the game is nationally televised or not. If the ball's...
Oh, whoops. Nate.
Whoops.
The league just taking ricochets.
Yeah, they are. They're going to be fine, dude. And, a 6-game lead above the Braves. The Braves have yet to really, kind of get things going.
Well, let me tell you. They're about to get things going with the 2-game series against the Sox. So.
Yeah.
I mean, they are primed. The Braves are primed.
And I also I don't think the Phillies are this bad. I think the Phillies will play a little better soon. But when we're talking, you said they're second in the NL for most runs scored. Without looking, do you know who's first?
Well, I'm looking at the stands right now because that's how I told you.
The Brew Crew. Everyone's hating on their offense.
Real surprising.
Also, shout out to whoever dropped Willie Adames in one of the fantasy leagues. Thank you so much. First day I picked him up, 2 jacks. I think he's had like 5 home runs since I got him. Just a staple.
In different leagues, I've picked up. In one league, I picked up Ryan Mountcastle. Hits 2 bombs later that night. The other league, shout out Murray, picked up Kyle Tucker because he. I
think everyone was in on that little sweepstakes. I definitely had a bid.
Yeah, and I was sitting pretty at second on the waiver wire. I was feeling real good.
I think I was like 4th or 5th. In fact, I couldn't do any other transactions until that one went through because I was like, I don't want to add anybody and screw up my order. Come on, Murray.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like you're feeling pretty confident about it. I'm telling you, this happened last year. And I know we don't need to rehash the same things. I feel like we do this every episode. The culture's different. Yes, I get that. But my whole thing is I just feel like with the Mets, even a change in culture, at least this soon, can't transcend the organizational curse, if you will, that they just seem to be up against right now. Maybe next year, maybe the year after. I just don't see it happening this year. I just don't think you can have a turnaround that quickly. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a big
all that to
roster
say, though,
shakeup too. And you're watching guys that are buying into their roles. I just talked about with the Angels, sprinkling in those role guys, those role players, and Jankowski with the lettuce playing center field every once in a while. He came out and said, "I know no one's going to be buying my jersey, but I'm still going to ball out. I'm still gonna do my thing."
Which is a baller way to get people to buy your jersey.
That's cool. That's cool. And like their outfield, the fact that Jeff McNeil can play a little left, Sterling Marte can play anywhere in the outfield. Like, you've got guys that just, I think are bought into what they're supposed to do, and they're doing this without DeGrom.
That is the footnote on all of these Mets conversations.
They're doing it without the best pitcher in baseball.
That's pretty frightening. Pretty frightening thought, if I do say so myself. But yeah, tip of the cap to the Mets for what they've done this far. They're doing what Mets fans were hoping they would do. They're doing what a lot of fans, including baseball fans, including myself, didn't think they could do, especially this early. And they're feeling themselves a little bit, and they're making it work. And like I said, they're finding ways to score runs. They're finding ways to win games. And I feel like a common theme with a lot of these games is, and I see it on Twitter all the time. Last year's Mets wouldn't have been able to do this. Last year's Mets wouldn't have been able to scrape across 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Last year's Mets fill in the blank. That seems to be a trend with this team, which kind of speaks to what you've been saying all along. I don't know. Well, just time will tell if they can
that Phillies
sustain.
game, last week of coming back against the Phillies deep in the 9th. It's just like, there's something about just being calm and buying in and just letting each guy, have the pass the baton mentality. You're watching it. And I think, I think you can consider maybe Frankie Lindor one of the loudest, not in a bad way, but one of the most eccentric baseball players in baseball. He's loud. He's in your face. He's got bright hair. He's smiling. He enjoys the way he plays. But you're watching him. If anything, he's somewhat like out of the limelight for the Mets. I don't think you see one particular guy saying, I'm the guy. I'm here to be the guy. Everything is team first mentality right now. Everything. And that's what Buck does. And that's what, the lead by example of Max Scherzer and, that kind of thing is going to do. But Chris Bassett is in your face. As much as you and I think it's cringy, Pete Alonso tries to be in your face. So he's trying to buy into what they're trying to create as a narrative.
Time will tell.
Time will tell, but I like what they're doing.
I don't really like what the Red Sox are doing, Nate, if I'm being honest with you.
I'm such a fan of this.
Look, I told you before we hopped on, I've been putting it off. I haven't wanted to talk about it because I'm like, it'll turn around. It'll turn around. It hasn't turned around, Nate. It hasn't turned around. It's terrible. They're playing so bad. Nate's over here coughing up a lung. It's awful. It's pitiful. You get the Red Sox playing so bad. You got Nate over here looking for a bottle of water. It's terrible.
I don't have it. I don't know where it went.
he's losing it over here.
I don't think it's here.
Hey, all right. Let's get it going here. All right. Pull ourselves back in it. Which is exactly what I'm telling the Red Sox right now. Let's pull ourselves back in it. This team right now is pressing so incredibly hard. And I'm just going to go on a record May 9th and say that I'm not out on this team by any stretch.
Can we pick a date for you to choose?
I'm not choosing. I'm going down with the ship, Nate. If the ship goes down, I'm not picking a date.
It's fair.
I'm going down with it. This team is pressing so incredibly hard, but I'm not out on this team.
No, it's too early to be out on a team like this in general.
Can you please go get a drink of water out of your bathroom or something? Stick your head under the sink.
We're good now.
Stop making all these noises.
We're good now.
drink
I think I
some
almost,
water
threw up in my
somewhere.
mouth. I don't know what happened there. It was all
All
of
right.
it was bad. We're back now, but I'm gonna need you to pick a date to where you can.
I told you I'm not picking a date. You can't ask me to pick a date on this team.
No, you can. You absolutely can
I'm
pick
not.
a date to where you can admit
I'm
that
not.
they're not a division-winning team. You can pick a date where you can admit that they're not a postseason team.
We'll swing back on this. It's too early for even that choice to be
I don't think they're. It's too. I agree. It's too early to say they're not a postseason team. But, dude, like there's no depth.
No, there's really not much anything going on right now. It's early. I'm not panicking. I feel absolutely dead when I watch these games. Like, I feel nothing. I feel no joy. At this point, it's gotten to the point, and I would say it probably hit yesterday after the sweep against the White Sox. Probably
very
hit yesterday.
Beat up White Sox team.
Like, what are we doing? It probably sunk in the most yesterday, where I was just like, I don't even really have a reaction. Like, I keep bumping the tweet on Twitter where it's Michael Scott in the Red Sox hat, where he's just like, photoshopped, mind you, where he's just like, I'm dead inside. Do
you feel that way even after victories?
After I see these losses.
Do you feel that way even after victories?
What victories? We haven't won anything. We can't win a baseball game.
Yeah, 2-8.
We just can't win a baseball game.
Last 10, lost 5 straight. Bottom of the division, below the Orioles.
It's about to be 7 after this sweep by the Braves, who are like I said, primed and ready to go. But I wanted to isolate the Red Sox here a little bit because, one, obviously my team, everybody knows that. If you're new to this podcast, yes, I'm a Red Sox fan. But 2, because I just feel like the Red Sox, more than many other teams, if any, are one of those teams that were expected to, maybe not be hot trash the way they are right now. And I just feel like we had to have a little moment in time here to address that.
Well, I mean, what's first off, the back end of the bullpen, the deep and late games, a lot of blown saves, a lot of blown leads. It's
you know how many blown saves they have, Nate?
More than saves, huh?
9 blown saves. And it's May 9th.
Yeah. Well, what's going on? It looks like Whitlock is now in the rotation and Houck isn't.
Houck, they're still trying to figure out what they're trying to do with Houck and Whitlock. They're trying to figure out who's going to be in the rotation, because whoever's not in the rotation is going to be in the pen. And they just keep going back and forth. Whitlock is one of the team's best pitchers, and unfortunately, the issue that the team is having is the pen. So you would think that you'd have your best pitcher in the pen, even though he's been great making these starts.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Was this the plan for Whitlock to eventually get ramped up and slide into the rotation?
I think so, but the way that both of them are progressing, Houck never sees the third time through the order. I need to get rid of him in fantasy because he's not doing me any favors, because the spot starts that he's making, he doesn't see the third time through the order. They just won't let him. They won't let him go that far just because the numbers balloon when he gets to that point in the lineup, that third time. But the frustrating part about watching this team is, as I've mentioned already, the pitching, which was presumably the piece of the puzzle that wasn't going to pan out, is actually they're doing pretty well. Like starting pitching's been giving you a chance. And even early on, you saw glimpses of the pen where you're like, oh, you know what? We may have found some pieces. Like Diekman there for a hot second. You're like, this isn't a bad addition. No. He shouldn't see another late inning opportunity.
What about what's his name? Sawarma?
Oh, Salmora. Dude, that guy gives me gray hairs. It's a flip of the coin with that guy. Like when he's on, he's feeling it.
Yeah.
Solid. But when he's not, just he's getting lit up, dude. Guys are roping balls like on lines.
Matt Barnes is like, oh
yeah.
my.
Barnes is.
Didn't he get an extension too for the season?
Yeah, it was a 2-year deal last year. I think it was post All-Star appearance, and then just a mess, dude.
Yeah,
just a mess.
See,
like,
that's
people calling for him to be sent to AAA.
They're not a last place team, but I don't see how they can be a postseason contender with a bullpen like that. And the bats will come. I don't think there's any concern, eventually for the bats. But we talked about this before. April is a little premature, but I think you can lose a season if you're not on the right track by the end of May. I think you absolutely can lose a season.
No, definitely, for sure.
So you can't win a season by that point, but you can absolutely kind of blow your chances. And like they don't have very long to figure it out. And I mean, I don't know. I think you could probably try and sneak one of these games out against the Braves because you got Whitlock and Eovaldi going. To be fair, I mean it's against Kyle Wright and Ian.
Yeah,
Anderson.
but Whitlock's going up. Yeah, I think Whitlock's going up against Kyle Wright, which
good
feel
Lord,
great about.
that kid's been a stud.
And it's like Eovaldi, the guy that I feel best about. Which, by the way, let me just say it right here, right now. I'm done with the Chris Sale experiment. I'm sorry.
Oh?
If he never sees another inning for the Red Sox, like I'm sorry, that would suck. I'd love to see him pitch again and pitch like as a healthy member of this team, as a healthy contributor to this team. But Nathan Eovaldi is the ace. I'm sorry. He's been the ace. I'm tired of hearing about these setbacks with Chris Sale. I'm tired of him coming back and hasn't gained a pound. I'm just done with it. And people keep saying, well, things will turn around when Sale gets back. You have a little bit of consistency in that rotation. What consistency does he bring? He's going to come back, make a couple starts, and then he'll be back on the shelf. Like I'm just done with it.
Even then, it's going to take a while for him to ramp up. So we were talking about the third time through the order. That's not going to happen in at least his first 3 or 4 starts.
Like the dude's a competitor. I love him for what he's done for this team up to this point. And I'm not like wishing ill will on him or hoping
but you
that
need
he
to,
gets
yeah, the Red Sox need to
or
stop
whatever.
thinking that he's the savior, basically.
Stop counting on that. It's just not a thing. And who knows? For all I know, hopefully he makes me eat my words and comes back and does what he does. But I don't think it's happening. And for the time being, I'm just done with that conversation. He's not the ace of this team. Nathan Eovaldi is the ace of this team, and he's shown you that he's the ace of this team.
Yeah.
So, Chris Sale.
Well, I mean,
no.
for the Red Sox, it's Braves, it's Rangers, it's Astros, Mariners, White Sox. I think by the time your schedule lets up at the end of May, because you're getting a lot of games in with the Orioles, and then it goes into the Reds and A's to start June, I think it's too late at that point. Unless the Red Sox can tread water against basically Braves, Astros, Mariners, White Sox again. They're going to have to tread water. They're going to have to at least split those series to make that end of May and beginning of June run against those bad teams.
Yeah. I don't feel great about it, but I'll say again, I'm not hanging it up by any stretch. When these bats are hot, when these bats are on, it's the best offense in the league.
Can be. Absolutely.
That's just a fact. So I'm not worried about that, and it will come around. People saying, well, it's getting a little late for that to be the case. It's just relax.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's just a matter of, like,
how do you feel? And I'll be straight with you. I don't really watch a lot of Red Sox games.
I'm just saying. Hold on. I'm just saying. I think with the offense, when it inevitably comes around, it's a matter of whether or not it can sync up with the pitching, at least the starting pitching, to give us a chance to win some games. Because if one comes back and the other fades away, you're out of luck.
What I was going to ask, and what my frustration has been for the last few years with the Yankees, is like that one-dimensional feel. When you watch a Red Sox game, do you feel like the entire offense is one-dimensional? Or do you feel like there's still versatility in the way guys can take an approach and take what the defense gives them? Or
Not
anything
right
like
now.
That? No.
That lineup is capable of being multidimensional. They've shown it to you. Look at last year. We saw it in person how multidimensional that team can be. But right now there's zero dimension.
Are they getting on base at all?
Their approaches are terrible. No. Their approaches are terrible, and even when they do get on base, they can't they do nothing with runners in scoring position. Nothing.
Yeah.
And so I just don't know, dude. I just don't know.
I think they're going to be sellers. If they're smart, they're going to have to sell. But what about these comments that Xander just came out with last week? Did you see that? Xander basically saying he's not interested in re-signing?
Well, that was you're referencing the close friends
Source. Yeah.
remark. Yeah, a source who was a close friend of Xander saying that he's not interested in yada 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 whatever. Okay.
You're not really buying into that.
Not really buying that. I'm also not buying, like I said, I'm not buying that extension offer that apparently the Red Sox offer.
Well, they're going to have to
buying
sell.
either.
If they don't have it figured out by the end of the month, they're going to be sellers, and I'm curious on who gets sold. Who gets sold? I could see Christian Vasquez potentially getting sold. He's a hell of a catcher. Has occasional pop. They made that move to get JBJ back with that swap with Hunter Renfroe. I mean, is Kike is he going to get sold as well? You've got that Duran kid coming back up to play center field for a little bit, right?
Well, they had him for a game and sent him back down once Kike came back from the COVID list. But if this team doesn't have Xander Bogaerts playing for it come August, I legitimately may need to take a break from this team and just maybe not watch some games for a while, because I don't want to be here for that. I just don't want to be here for that. And on that note, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's get out of here. Closing the book, the only note I had, shout out to the Reds for winning their first series of the season.
They finally did. They finally got one.
It took them to Mother's Day weekend. They finally won their first series of the season. And it was against the Pirates. So good for you guys. Good for you guys. Was just waiting for that Pirates matchup. They had it on the calendar. They said, this is it, boys. This is where things turn around. Raise the Jolly Roger. No, that's the Pirates. That's not even the Reds thing. It's not even the Reds thing.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. I'm still in Pirates mode after that Pittsburgh trip.
I think it's ridiculous that they don't even let dudes wear
park.
the brown bags over their heads. They got security coming to Reds fans saying you can't.
Those looks like some prime targets for potential sell the team.
I think they probably already purchased them. Let's be real.
Probably.
Let's be real. Tough to be.
But
honestly,
good for them.
In Ohio in general, just sports across the board. It's not easy. Ohio State is basically
not
the
easy.
only thing you got going for you. Everything else is rough.
Hey, I mean the Guardians are holding their own.
Sure.
Sure. We'll see how long that lasts. That's all I got, unless you got anything else.
That's it. That is all I got. Felt like I was going to bring something up, but I forgot. I don't know. So that's it. So, don't.
Whenever I forget something, Meredith always tells me it must have not been that important. So.
I think there's times where I agree and disagree with that. I forgot my stepmom's Mother's Day gift at my house yesterday before I was.
I'd say that's pretty important.
You don't feel great about that.
Yeah, that's important.
So I had to run back and get it. Write the card. It is what it is. Yeah.
You made it work.
Is what it is. Well, good stuff, old chap. Good stuff.
The 3-0 fake
Come to you
coming
this Thursday.
next episode this
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah. In the meantime,
JFK.
don't go chasing curveballs.
We love y'all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.